I see a lot of baby sleep advice that I do not agree with, but it is not dangerous necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just not what I would do, and it seems a bit nonsensical. Scroll on.
And we scroll on. Yeah.
I saw something this week that I then shared with you because it actually made me rage. I felt furious. This is an episode of Nap Trapped that we haven't done before.
We haven't. And I think knowing that I can speak from the heart because we are so wound up about this and it may not ever make it to air. Like, I think that's probably
this is cutting room floor material, I suspect.
Yeah, that's right. But I feel like we can sort of just speak the truth here because it really has. And like, I'm sitting up straighter now because I feel like really like it's been such a big couple of days thinking this through so many times from so many different perspectives, and we're both so passionate about how did this happen, and why this gives our industry such a name.
Yeah, I think
so
you
many
said
families.
Yeah, you said it so like on point to me before that they are creating like the fires that we are actively trying to put out in the baby sleep industry. I guess to cut to it, we're raging a little bit at the moment. We're raging, and we're going to record a bit of a rage episode to get it off our chests. In particular, I saw and then shared with you, and you and I do not go down this path, right? We do not. We're not interested in having. No, gosh, no. The algorithm, I'm like, please send me golden retrievers and like Aperol spritzers in the Maldives. I don't need any more baby sleep content in my life. Alas, but we also don't go like we're not out here to like. I see a lot of baby sleep advice. Exactly.
Yeah.
I see a lot of baby sleep advice that I do not agree with, but it is not dangerous necessarily. Yeah. It's just not what I would do, and it seems a bit nonsensical. Scroll on.
And we scroll on. Yeah.
I saw something this week that I then shared with you because it actually made me rage. I felt furious. I saw a sleep consultant talk about how they had put a previous consultation, a 10-month-old baby, onto one nap already. I was like, well, don't do that. And then they re-met at 13 months of age. And the reason was that moving to one nap had worked well for a couple of weeks. Overnight sleep fell into place, yada, yada, yada. Things were looking up. And then it all started to snowball. The baby was needing apparently increased wake windows already, split nights, overnight wait, like it all just fell to pieces. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is because we've moved to one nap way too early. And often I do see when this happens that it does start to feel really good for a couple of days, maybe even weeks. And then it starts to snowball because overtiredness compounds.
Yeah, that's right.
And the word describes, so this 13-month-old baby was then on a 7-hour wake window.
Which is like what?
In my head, I thought that's a full work day for some adults.
That's where I was like, that's cooked. That is insane. But I'm still prepared to scroll on at this point.
Because you do you.
Like,
you do.
Yeah, like I'm like, wow, that's insane. I would never do that. But I'm still at this point going, oh, well, I'm not, whatever. Scroll on.
Until this absolutely out of and look, I am a pediatric nurse. It is drilled into me from day one to work within your scope of practice. If it is outside of your scope of practice, you outsource. You ask for help,
refer
or you
on,
upskill. And it then really becomes part of your scope of practice. This sleep consultant went on to say that she then asked this mother, my heart's racing as I even think about it.
So you've just mentioned it. To set the scene, this baby is having a nap, 7-hour wake window, has it wakings overnight and a split night.
Yep. And described as being wired.
Wired. And then the sleep consultant says to Mum,
is there any ADHD in your family? Which, oh my goodness.
At this point, I'm like,
is not an
whoa.
appropriate question at the best of times.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Because it was then all like a pat on the back moment of this couldn't possibly be, because this baby is on a 7-hour wake window. In fact, it was like announced, this isn't to do with sleep science. This isn't to do with sleep needs. This isn't a baby sleep issue. Chances are this is undiagnosed ADHD
Yep.
at the age of 13 months old. Not the fact that we drop to one nap at 10 months old. You cannot plant that seed. How do you know that like, let's say she's right. We'll put it out there. Maybe this baby is neurodivergent. How do you know that mother is open to that suggestion? That is not a complete blind sight. Like, we do not know how that is going to be received. And with what evidence and credentials, regardless of the course that they say that they are currently doing, you're not that person.
Yeah. It destroys that wonderful sort of, whatever they've got left of themselves. Because remember, this baby went and saw a sleep consultant. The parents went and saw a sleep consultant because this baby was obviously not sleeping, and then they were given advice to drop to one nap at 10 months, which worked for a couple of weeks. So these parents are sleep deprived already, and they're on, an edge at this point. It worked for a couple of weeks, and then it's turned to custard again. And so now they've got months and months and months, and probably a whole little lifetime of terrible sleep behind them. They are exhausted. That sleep would be, they're done now. They actually think, no, there is absolutely no improvement.
This is our lot in life.
This is our life, and we've been dealt a really tough card, and now there's no room for improvement. The sleep will never get better. There's no chance we could ever think of getting a beautiful night's sleep again, because we've got a diagnosis
it's out of our control.
We've got a diagnosis.
Yep.
We've got a diagnosis from a sleep consultant.
I saw in the news recently, is there like talk that perhaps a GP could now be the one to make a diagnosis in terms of neurodiversity? And when I think about the statistics of how many of us are neurodivergent, and I look at the numbers of the babies that I have worked with, not once would that come into consideration.
Sleep is so important for regulation, for behaviour. You are not trying to minimise sleep for a little one that potentially has a neurodivergent. You are working to get the maximum amount of sleep that you can for these kids. You're not taking it away in the hopes that it's going to make their sleep better. The rage that I feel for this poor family, I feel rage for the sleep consultant that she hasn't stayed in her lane and then she's jumped out, and then she's been super cocky about diagnosing a baby where she's got no place to
be
do
fair,
it.
she says that, of course she's too young to diagnose, but in my experience, this is what it all is looking like.
Which I don't, sugarcoat it all you want, but she's literally just told the family, See,
that's the other thing. In terms of patient confidentiality, you said this to me before, and I think it's such a good point. Let's say even that baby does have ADHD. That they have just outed that family. So someone may know that family worked with that sleep consultant. That was the scenario. Maybe that mother didn't give them the indication. It was just like, this is just our lot in life. And then someone else sees that and thinks, oh, she didn't tell me that her baby has ADHD.
Is it crazy of me to think that you can diagnose a baby of 13 months with ADHD? Is this something that can be done? I thought it was more towards preschool.
It is.
Maybe there's
wild
science
to me.
Yeah, it's just not. How do you?
But also, there is,
to me, the behaviour side of things is characteristic of a really overtired.
That's it. Fix the sleep problem. Before we even go down that path.
To us, this was the really crazy aspect. Is that's not ADHD. That's wildly, chronically overtired with cortisol levels that would be so high, so extreme that this little one is probably a sweaty little mess and literally cannot function because they are so goddamn tired. They're getting like a 1.5 to 2 hour nap. I don't even know how long the nap was for, but honestly, that the sleep consultant
Not
is
enough
like,
at 10 to 13 months.
Prescribed. It's probably happening from 10 till 10 till 12. This is how I'm sort of picturing it, because like in my mind, surely a 7-hour wake window, surely they're getting their little one into bed by 7. I don't know. It seems
I don't
crazy,
know.
but
it seems
who
crazy.
bloody knows?
But I also think the moment you use the word, sorry, you go.
No,
We are amped.
We're
No, I
raging.
was just going to say, the moment she used the word wired, that is interchangeable with overtired.
So you would know what we would do in this scenario.
Yeah. I think that's the productive outcome of this. And if this mother is listening, or you know if
please,
this...
oh my God, please reach out. We
will do this for
desperate
free
to help you. And we will
do a napped, trapped...
And we
won't
not
make content
tell
about it.
anyone. No, like we are just...
It will not be an episode.
This is just so wildly crazy to us. How we would have solved the issue was, we don't know why your little one was put on one nap. I suspect it's because there was nap refusal or an inability to settle for the second nap and so forth. We would have created a way for sleep pressure to have been optimized to be able to keep 2 naps in. We would have found a way.
You have to be strategic.
Yeah, we would have structured things. We would have structured feeds, meals. We would have created enough sleep pressure for these 2 naps to have remained. I have never, ever put a baby on one nap at that age.
Because there is no way the answer is, oh, well, we'll just drop to one nap at 10 months old, based on the sleep issues you are experiencing.
Yeah. So to me, even if, say, for example, you had 2 crazy naps, like they were like 2 30-minute naps in the day, it is still so much better to have 2 well-timed naps and go into a bedtime that's where your little one is kind of well rested to promote a little bit more sleep in the night, and then sort of working out, okay, the daytime sleep's not exactly, optimized, but, we've got to start somewhere. So we're going to start from the end of the second nap leading into bedtime, and we're going to work with that portion and go and then move through the night. And then we'd have to strategically work on the nights and so forth. And maybe it wasn't even a sleep a sleep training thing. Maybe it was it was off balance or off kilter somewhere. Something wasn't quite right. We would look at absolutely every avenue before that. So we would be getting the sleep on track, and then I think the youngest that I've ever dropped to one nap is probably 12 months, and that was because we've
exhausted
with every option.
Yeah.
And if it didn't work, if we didn't have success with the one nap schedule, then we were going back to the drawing board and finding a way to get these 2 naps back in, and finding a way.
You're not telling them to go to the pediatrician to look.
No,
to
we
get
are
some
not.
Tools for
it
an
would
ADHD
never cross
diagnosis.
my mind. It wouldn't cross my mind. That is so crazy. Yeah.
But here's the thing as well. This is unsafe and out of scope. And this is the reason why people hate sleep consultants.
Yeah.
And watching that, I hate sleep consultants too.
Yeah,
so,
I felt in that moment I understood. I understood why people are like, it's an industry that's unregulated. And so
which is true. Otherwise, I'd be ringing the governing body and reporting that.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Yeah.
They just put out a very brief post saying, this is your reminder that it is nowhere near within the scope of practice of a sleep consultant to be attributing your baby's sleep issues to undiagnosed neurodivergence. We work with neurodivergent children. It does not change the game in terms of how we fix the problem. We meet a baby where they are at. And if a certain baby needs a different wake window, sure, that is within our wheelhouse. It doesn't all have to be cookie cutter. But my goodness, is that so wildly inappropriate, unsafe, and out of scope. And not something that we subscribe to at all.
Yeah. And we're just as outraged as a lot of the community are too.
Yes.
Probably more so outraged.
More.
Because
the rage I raged.
Yeah. And we've been thinking about it for 2 days now. Like we've been sitting on it for 2 days, and this is a really good outlet for us because we've got each other to talk to about it. But you guys will know that I'm not big on social media myself. I don't tend to get myself out there. But I really felt like making my TikTok entrance.
I was cheering you on, Beck. But then again,
really
can I just say,
I was just like, it's just so.
We're even scared to do that. But someone can go on with their full chest, making wildly inappropriate statements and shocking baby sleep advice.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion. And you and I come with every caveat, tiptoeing around things so that we couldn't possibly say something that would aggravate someone, although we never really do because it's baby sleep.
Yeah.
But this, I draw a line in the sand.
Yeah, I felt like I
Not
felt
okay.
like going straight to whoever it was that certified this consultant and then going, you really need to get this in check because this can't be happening. In this day and age, you cannot have someone going rogue like that. It felt rogue, it felt dangerous, and it felt super inappropriate.
If we are unable to fix a baby sleep problem, I know that you and I are not above asking for suggestions. Like you and I have conversations around tricky cases. Absolutely. If I was nursing on the ward, there is no way I would just assume that I must know the answer to it. In fact, that is terrible nursing practice. You ask for help. You ask for input from the allied health. Like there is a whole team, and that is encouraged. And the tricky thing about being a sleep consultant, it is very much a solopreneur job.
Yeah.
But you find a mentor, you find a colleague, you nut it out, and you can also be honest. Sometimes I'll say to my families, do you know what? Leave that with me. I'm going to go and think. And you and I are both part of a forum that has sleep consultants from around the world doing exactly that. Yeah. This is why we created this podcast, because we don't have to just go out there like a cowboy and know it all. And you are allowed to not know the answer. You are allowed to ask for help. And you can also say, hey, this no longer feels within my scope. I think it might be best if you check in with your GP just in case there's something that, like, as a sleep consultant, I can't pick up. Maybe there's something else causing it, and it might be a good opportunity to chat with your maternal child health nurse or just get a fresh pair of eyes from a different perspective.
Well, thanks for listening to our rage. I definitely feel better for getting it off my chest. And
I do too.
Apologies for the swearing.
Maybe we need your crow sound as the bleep. So every time we swear, we're going to have it bleeped out with a fuck off crow. And you can read between the lines of what we're actually saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Thanks, Sally. I feel so much better.
Me too. It's good to have a quick rage about the right thing. This is not what we're about, but there is a place to call out misinformation.
Yep.
And this is our first attempt. So bear with us. It'll be something way more chipper next week.
Yeah. Send in your requests for chipper conversations.
Although we have discussed that maybe we need to start a segment of what was the most cooked baby sleep advice you've seen this week, and why for us that's a bit cooked and what we do instead. So we'll be nice. Yeah. We'll be nice about it. This one was a bit more ragey.
Yeah.
And
that was because we've never seen, like, this whole 11 years that I've been doing this, I've never seen anything like that. Anyway, we're back onto it, so let's just...
Okay, we're okay. We got it.
Okay, we're out. Catch up.
End
Bye-bye.
chapter.